Time for another installment of a load of made-up bullshit nonsense.
All right, time for another DraftPhysics.com, DebatePhysics.com also. Video presentation. So this is the subject of the idea of negative motion, that you can have a collision or an event, and the energy that goes this way is believed to cancel the energy this way. They just subtract them.
Nope, not the energy. Again, you're conflating the two, energy and momentum.
And the net product will somehow be the energy that caused the event, which, in my opinion, makes no sense at all, of course, because obviously the energy...
Yes, it doesn't make sense to you because you're conflating again. Like I say, you're talking about momentum and then you're saying energy. The energy is conserved, and you can sum the totals in the opposite directions. Nothing cancels energy-wise.
Something possessed, like currency, and I can't have $10 and then make $15 go that way and $5 go that way and pretend I caused the event, because
it's not about pretending, it's about understanding.
Doesn't make any sense. I have $20, I can't have 20. So this is basically the outline of the experiment.
Yes, you can't make free energy, which is pretty obvious, like you can't make free momentum. But again, you don't understand it, do you?
Physics says they have done, successfully accomplished it. They use air tracks and they use the cars.
This bar showed it you in every conceivable way possible. He even filmed it, pretty much in real time, and still you couldn't accept the truth.
The little metal wheels, and say that they make this happen. So you have 100 momentums. Okay,
They don't make it happen. It's what nature does. It's not forced. It's not contrived. It's what nature does when you run the experiment.
Call that 10 joules in, okay? And so it's on, let's say I use a pendulum.
So now, again, you're saying this is the momentum, it's 10 joules. No, you can't conflate the two. Joules is energy.
You'll get the energy back in the sense that 50 will come back this way, and 150 will go this way, if it's a 3 mass. So we're talking about this.
So again, you're saying the energy, 3/4 of the energy will go into the 3 mass, 1/4 of the energy will come back. 3/4 and 1/4 makes a whole, what you started with, because there's no free energy.
And this is what they say actually happens, that you create more motion in the direction, more momentum in the direction that you're pushing the force. So,
so momentum now.
There's a car, it's a 1 mass car, it's going, let's say, 100 momentums, and it makes 150 in the heavier car. So the heavier car is going a little slower, but it has this increase in its momentum. Yeah, just as words, that should bother you. Free momentum, that doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't sound right to you, but it's not free momentum, is it? Because you have to subtract them if they're going in opposite directions. Like Newton said, the guy who you idolise, who you don't believe a word he said.
Their claim that this 50 somehow undoes 50 here, and you only have a real 100, even though if this was a closed system and these objects weren't on strings, they would hit the outside walls of your closed system and be producing 200 worth of pressure. So there's no fact that says it isn't 200.
Oh my God, no. You're really not getting this, are you?
I only put 100 in, and now I have 200 units of pressure in my system. Well, anyway, so we are using pendulums, though. We can make the energy come back together again. And their claim is it's only 100 pops out. So now I have 200 momentums in a collision, and somehow only 100 momentums pops out. And this repeats. And they think this is a reasonable position, a reasonable argument, a reasonable model of reality. So...
Yes, it's because it's what happens in reality.
There's so many... It's, all these arguments, you're saying, well, how can I demonstrate that this is impossible? Because I could just do this a second time and a third time, and I end up starting with 100 momentums and ending up with 500 momentums. And how can that make any sense? Because you sort of know from the...
Why don't you try it? Why don't you build your little perpetual motion machine? Try that one out. You could patent it. You become a trillionaire.
Bowling example, that momentum knocks pins down. Objects hit, and they share their momentum with the objects they hit, just like pool balls. So the argument is I'm going to move more pool balls with the added energy I have going in the same direction that my energy...
Again, try it. Because, yes, it's a higher momentum number, but it's less energy. It doesn't do more work.
...was going in. And that can't happen because I can't make free motion. I can't make a free disturbance in the universe. I can only follow energy. I can't make it. And momentum, even if you don't think it's a...
But you're not following the energy. Like I say, what you're saying, joules, energy, momentum, what? You just make it up as you go along.
officially energy, it behaves just like it was energy. You have to conserve it. You can't make more of it, and you can't destroy it.
Correct, and everything in that example there, momentum and kinetic energy are both conserved.
So obviously this idea that there's such a thing as unenergy, or unmotion, or anti-motion,
Oh God, but again, energy, motion, what are you talking about?
doesn't work. And obviously it's in the form of anti-momentum. Because that's all they're saying cancels is momentum. And then you're left with the total energy. And again, it doesn't happen in the real world. And if it did happen, that you could make this extra momentum, somebody would be capitalizing on it, I'm sure, because extra momentum is extra energy. Extra momentum makes...
No, extra momentum is not extra energy. Like I say, in that example there, when the one mass comes in, that has a certain amount of energy. When it collides with the three mass, 3/4 of its energy will go over to the three mass, and 1/4 of the energy will come back with the one mass. So it doesn't have more energy. It has less energy than what the one mass came in with. Therefore, it can't do more work. Yes, it's a higher momentum number, but it's got less kinetic energy, so it won't do more work.
More heat. Extra momentum can be converted into more heat. It can be converted into something we can use in terms of making something we want to have happen. We can do more work with more momentum. So it's really...
And again, you're conflating work, momentum, energy, which, oh God, it's like unbelievable.
It's, I would argue it's paradoxically silly, okay? And yet they firmly...
You are fucking silly.
Believe it. I mean, so arrogantly and obnoxiously. And they say, they do these little air track experiments where, in the classic case that I have shown is Professor Lewin, because he has a very high quality air track, at $10,000 air track, and apparently it works really well. And so the only way they can make this experiment happen...
Yes, it did work really well, and you've seen that as well.
Where they can hit a one-mass cart into a two-mass cart, okay? And we'll say, again, it's 100 velocity for this, 100 momentums, and it will make this cart leave, okay, with one...
Oh, wait for it now, what we're going to hear. There's a blob of clay.
33. See, the higher the difference, this is 1 to 2. They don't do 1 to 3, and they don't do 1 to 5, and they don't do 1 to 7, and they don't do any of those higher experiments because it got even more ludicrous. But anyway, so he did the experiment, and he, created these results with his air track. But if you look at his cart, there's a big blob of clay on the one cart. And then when you look at the cart that's supposed to weigh twice as much, it doesn't have twice the amount of clay on it. It doesn't have any clay on it.
So again, you're just calling fake and fraud for even a professional.
And it only has the same amount of weights on it. And so there's good reason to believe it can't possibly be twice as heavy. It gives some reason to doubt that their physics is as well done as they would like to claim it to be, that it has all this integrity, that's all been well tested, and that they aren't doing just performance art. They aren't trying to just show an experiment instead of reveal an experiment. They're not testing it.
So again, you're just saying that there's some worldwide conspiracy that all physicists are trying to hide the truth. Why? Ask yourself why. Why would anybody want to do that? Why would they be teaching young people, the next generation growing up, who are going to discover and invent new things? Why would they teach them stuff that, is what you claim not to be true, or fake, or fraud? What would be the purpose? Is it just to suppress your genius? Is that the only purpose?
Demonstrating it. They're forcing it to come out the way the book says it should come out. They're not allowing it to naturally come out that way. So there's one more example that I should probably...
Well, if you can make it come out unnaturally, we'd all like to see it.
Take a steel anvil, and you could take another pendulum, and you could just bounce the one mass against the steel. It'll just keep bouncing.
Oh, the thought of a steel anvil and what I could do with that. I've got visions of Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner and dropping it from a great height.
But it doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
No, you don't make any sense. Unbelievable. All you've done there is just shown your complete lack of knowledge and ignorance on the topic again.
Why people are so glued to something that has such obvious paradoxical elements to it. But again, they're very aggressive.
You see paradoxes through your ignorance.
In saying this does happen. Negative motion, anti-motion, unmotion happens. And it doesn't.
You've seen the experiment done over and over. Momentum has to be conserved, and so in this example is kinetic energy.